Welcome back. This is part 2 of our Introduction to Stress Analysis using Inventor for the SE 101 course. When we left off before, we were talking about this assembly right here, and it might potentially make sense to use in a finite element analysis. Well, the most important thing to remember is that we want to look at some place where we might have stress that would cause some failure. We want to identify the places in the system where we might have some kind of failure. And so there's a lot of different parts that we have here. Let's just go through them. We have these little wheels and bushings and different things like that. It's unlikely that these are going to be the point of failure, and so those are probably not a good place to do the finite analysis. All kinds of fasteners and pins here, those might be a good candidate for doing finite element analysis on, but we can also assume that these are those are well designed, and so we're going to use standard fasteners or bolts or whatever, and so those are also going to be unlikely to fail. The two places where we're probably the most likely to fail would be this green part right here. You can see you have some thin areas in the part where you might have a crack or you might have something pull out or whatever. Same thing with this one. If we were actually designing this from the ground up, we would just use standardized wheels or bushings here. We would use standardized fasteners, and we would be designing this gray part and this green part. And so with that in mind, these two would be the logical choices for us to use in our finite element analysis. For your projects, that's going to be the first thing that you need to do, is you need to go through your list of parts. Exploded view of your system would be really good to do for that. And then choose a part that you think could potentially be a weak point in the system. So just go through and think about where your system might fail. Where is a moving part? Where is some part that could fail that has some force applied to it? Is there a fan blade? Is there a little piece, is a structural piece with some sharp edges? Things like that. Those are things you need to watch out for and need to think about. And so what you need to do with your projects, like I said, is go through them really carefully and select where you think it would fail in that. Select one part, and that part is going to be the one that you should use for your finite element analysis for your project. Hope that's helpful. Coming up in part 3, we will do a brief tutorial in Autodesk Inventor to help demonstrate the concepts better.